All right, welcome to the Brad and Kyle channel, and in this video we are going to be teaching you guys how to hook a bowling ball with different releases and how to get those different releases. Stay tuned.
All right, so today we're talking about how to hook a bowling ball with different releases and how that can benefit your game. Now we're gonna start it out with some slow-mo shots of Brad, and we want you guys to determine the difference in the releases. So he's gonna have one where he's a little more up the back, one where he's regular, and one where he's more around it. So we're gonna roll those now. We'll be back in a second. All right, so those are the three releases from Brad here, and then hopefully you guys could tell the first one was pretty much his normal release. The second one was more up the back, so less rotation. And then the third one was more around it, so more rotation. Now, Brad, how are you able to change your release so easily like that?
Yeah, so I'll just kind of take you through my process real quick. Now, I've bowled my whole life. This is the stuff that I've studied my whole life. Kind of comes natural to me because I've spent a ridiculous amount of hours in a bowling alley practicing. But for me, you know, if you were just to go up there and throw a shot, it's not gonna normally, and let's hope that it's not going to be so far up the back that your ball just rolls end over end. That's gonna limit you a lot. You know, it's gonna be hard to play different angles. It's gonna be hard to play different balls. So, so the normal release shouldn't be an extreme. It should be somewhere in the middle, like mine was, the first one. Pretty normal. When I want to get more up the back, you know, the release section obviously is the important section, but getting to the release, I always think about my elbow, and it helps me kind of get into the slot that I need to get in for those different releases. For example, you know, if I'm getting around the ball or if I'm getting up the back of it, I'm still tucking my elbow, you know, and you know, that's a pretty important concept. It's impossible to get up the back of the ball when your elbow is on the side of it. And so on the way down, just to help myself make sure I get in the right slot, I tuck that elbow no matter what release I do. Now, if I want to get up the back, that's where we pay attention from the release point on. You want your hand in a certain position. The position we like to think about is your palm kind of facing your forehead, right? So you come through, that elbow's tucked regardless, and then I come through, and then as you release it, you just want your palm to kind of touch your forehead. That allows you to get like this really end over end kind of roll up the back. You know, you play the gutter, you can play really straight angles that way, that kind of thing. In order to get around the ball, it's not totally different. I just think about my hand kind of, my palm facing the wall. Now I'm a right-hander, so it would be the left wall. But as I come through, I'm no longer wanting my palm to hit my forehead. I almost want my index finger or my pointing finger to hit my forehead. And the palm of the hand actually faces the left wall. And when you do that, you know, the release is really quick, right? So you still want that elbow to be tucked, and then last second, you just take your palm, face it to the left wall, and that kind of creates like this open handness.
Yep.
And the person that we've seen with the most extreme around itness,
That's a tough
there we
word.
go, is Pete Weber. I mean, the amount of side rotation that guy has is unbelievable. And if you watch it, he's cupped, he's tucked, and then it kind of just faces the left wall, and then it's an open hand, kind of like shake your hand with the
Yeah.
with the pins kind of release.
So this isn't the end all be all on how to change your release, but for you guys out there, if you have an issue with manipulating release, this is what we're going to focus on. So Brad's going to throw a couple shots, and like he just said, he's going to try for the first shot here, where when he follows through, that palm is facing his head, and then on the second shot, he's going to follow through, and the palm is going to be facing the left wall, and we're going to see the difference in releases here. So Brad, let's do the one where your palm's facing your head at the follow through, and see what result we get. Okay, so pretty low rotation. We still got hooked there, as you could see, but you saw how the ball went really forward after it pretty much left the end of the pattern, got into that roll phase, went super forward. It didn't have a lot of angle on it, which tells us that we had low rotation on that ball.
Yeah, that was kind of hard for me to do. I mean, you really got to get your elbow tucked in there, and then when you release it, it's like this side of your hand, the pinky side of your hand actually kind of, it's a hard release to do. But two things: the ball's still hooked, and it's all about shape. The ball went forward in the back part of the lane. The people we see the best at it, Bill O'Neill, Norm Duke, the guys that could play really straight and get really straight angles coming off the back part of the pattern. Man, when they do it, it's a beautiful thing. It's like their hands dead up the back. It's kind of hitting their palms straight up, but the ball goes and pin slash around, and it's not an angular motion. It's just more of like a front to back motion. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you keep it controlled in front of you, and if you want to be a complete bowler, you have to be able to manipulate your release like these guys were talking about. You have to be able to change it and kind of do it on command. So let's do another release shot here. And this one, instead of having that palm face his head, Brad is going to focus on at the follow through, let that hand rotate, and at the end we kind of want that palm facing somewhere near the left, like the left wall.
Yep. We'll see the difference in reaction.
Yeah. So the first one had zero chance of leaving a 9-pin.
Yeah.
I mean, it rolled out, and that one you can see once it hit the dry, it continued, and that's all because we manipulated the rotation of the ball.
And I'm gonna be honest, that I'm not great at getting a ton of like rotation.
Yeah.
That was almost a little more tilt, which is like a different video. That was a little bit more of like a spin.
It kind of looked all right, dude.
Did it look all right?
It probably looked so weird to your eyes.
It got angular down lane. But for a guy with a ton of rotation, they're basically still up the back of the ball, just completely like cocked. So that was a little bit more of a tilty release. But in terms of, that's me trying to get my palm to face the left wall, and look at the difference in reaction. I mean, that thing boomeranged at the end of the pattern.
Yeah. All right, guys, there you have it. A little tip. If you're trying to improve your versatility and maybe you're having issues changing release, try out this tip. Try focusing on that follow through and getting that palm to either face your head or the left wall. Obviously, the opposite as a right-hander. And see if that doesn't change your release and give you a different ball reaction.
And as always, things with release changes, swing changes, you got to get in here and put in the time. It doesn't, you're not just going to come in here one time and have all these different releases to use. No, you got to get in there and trial and error. It's a little bit different for everyone. Everyone kind of creates a little bit of a different role. So you got to make sure you get in here and get the hours in. And as always, make sure you check out our merch on bradandkyle.com. If you're looking for coaching, we have that for you too in the Brad and Kyle membership. There is a link below. Make sure you check that out. Hit the like and subscribe. We appreciate you guys.